Grime is rapidly becoming one of the UK's biggest cultural exports. With more awards being won and festivals being headlined by British grime artists, the genre has made massive strides towards the mainstream, despite grime's origins lying within the underground. The group BBK have in the last few years collaborated with American artists like Drake, forcing Britain's grime scene to rise globally. Artists such as Skepta, Stormzy, Giggs, Kano, JME, Lethal Bizzle and Wiley are bigger than ever, and the list only gets longer. But what I wanted to explore is the genre's influence on drugs. I was heading to Andy Nicholson's studio in Sheffield city centre to link LDizz and talk about the grime industry and its influence on drugs, primarily being cannabis. So tell us, how long have you been in the industry?
Well, I wouldn't say I've been in for like as long as I've been making music. Like, I've been making music for about 6-7 years now, but I've probably been doing it serious and actually been noticed and like in for about 2-3 maybe 4, because I used to do music before and then I took quite a large break, which obviously like took me down quite a bit, and then I had a name change and things like that. But obviously now, so I'd say about 3-4 years maybe.
Yeah. So at what age was it when you realised that the music industry is what you wanted to be in? This is what we're going to be for you.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say like it was early as such, because I obviously had other focuses. I used to obviously play football quite a lot, so it was more like I did music and I didn't even know if I was good at it or whether I wasn't. I just listened to music, I did my own stuff, and really and truly found out that you're good at it from listening to other people try. So finding out that I was good at it made me want to do it more, and obviously seeing people around me do it made me want to do it more. But to actually think this is what I want to do, probably about 2 years ago, because up until then, 3 years ago, because up until then I wanted to actually do football over music, but now music's more of a option.
So far, what surreal moments have you had? Moments that's made you, step back and realise, wow, this is happening.
Yeah. I say the biggest one would probably be O2, when I performed at O2 with Sticky Blood, Marcus with Matic Mouth, and just stuff like that. Like as well, when your music gets posted from like big channels and things like that without you reaching out to them. So say because back in the day, obviously people used to at people on Twitter and show them their music and things like that and try and get people to tweet it, but that gets quite frustrating, quite annoying. So recently I've been just posting my music, not asking anybody to share it or anything like that. But then when it does get noticed by a big channel, for example GRM Daily or something like that, without me reaching out to them, that lets me know that I've still got some eyes on me. So it's kind of surreal that does happen there.
Yeah. So big question, but what is grime to you? How would you personally define that genre?
It's a tricky question, because a lot of people say it's the tempo, a lot of people say it's the feeling. I'd say it's just a complete mixture of both, what you're talking about and the energy as well, because really and truly what it was is grime was meant to be 140 BPM. That's what I always knew grime to be. But that doesn't mean if I make a song at 138 that it's not grime, because it's not 140. So really and truly I think it's more about how you're rapping on the beat, how quick you're rapping on the beat, what you're talking about, and like the energy that you have. So I'd just say energy, really. Yeah, for me.
So who's the godfather of grime for you?
Wiley. Yeah.
Straight
I think not because for me, I just mean for everybody. Like he is, that's his title, that's his, nobody else's, nobody could take that. He will be the godfather for grime forever, for me anyway, for everybody else, I feel.
So going into more of the like nitty-gritty stuff, so when grime were born in London, not so much now, but back then, it had its connotations of violence and aggression and stuff, and obviously a lot of the time shows were shut down and things like that. Do you feel like you've ever been discriminated against for producing grime, or do you know anyone who has?
See, I'm only 21 obviously, and I've not been doing it for as long as other people have. I know for a fact that maybe a couple of people that I did make music with have had that in the past, like where they've tried to do shows and maybe the police have shut it down, or The promoters have cancelled last minute because of the crowds that they attract and things like that. But I think now it's completely different. Like, grime acts are what people want now, I feel like, and especially everybody likes to root for an underdog as well. And I feel that obviously because grime hasn't just come and hit straight away, it's had to grind from the bottom to where it is now. I feel like people like to support it because it's an underdog. So promoters might look at booking a grime artist before they would ever book anything else. Like, maybe it would have been a drum and bass artist before, but now it's going to be a grime artist. I feel like there's a bigger path for people to go through now.
Yeah. So to wrap it up,
yeah.
What's your next move? Have you got any next moves?
Well, really and truly, well, obviously I've got the show Charlie Sloth the Plug Tour. That's on the 20th of this month, so that's like a couple of weeks or so, less than a couple of weeks actually. So I need to obviously do that. That's like the direct focus right now, the short term focus. I did just drop my latest video on SBTV most days. I did drop my other single after that as well, Busy Tone. So now I'm just gonna let them, because I dropped quite a lot of music recently, like about 7 or 8 songs, just me, Andy, Ethan, just releasing a lot of music, and I'm just gonna let them sit there for a bit and just work on maybe another CD or maybe another project. I'm not sure, but for now I'm just gonna generate a lot of music, so I know for a fact I've got enough there. Yeah. And once I do that, then I think I'll be good.
That sounds great. So let's talk about Grime's influence on drugs. So the image on one of your mixtapes is an image of a joint. So do you smoke cannabis in your spare time?
Yeah, I do smoke. Not in my spare time, though, all the time. So yeah, I do smoke regularly still.
Yeah. What age did you start smoking?
Well, I smoked first when I was young, real young, like 13. Well, that's not even real young. A lot of people start early. I was speaking to someone the other day, they told me they smoked their first joint when they was 9. So I didn't start smoking fully then though, because obviously I was doing football, so I didn't start smoking fully until I was like 17, 18-ish sort of age.
And where would you say grime fits in with smoking?
With smoke, yeah. I'd say they're just joint together because, well, not necessarily they are, but they're not at the same time, because there's people who do grime and don't smoke, and there's people that smoke and would never listen to grime. But then again, when you do go into like the grime culture, like especially back in the day where it was more like sets and things like that, there would be just smoke in the air all the time. So really and truly, like even in Sheffield when we do little events and stuff, there's always smoke in the air, and that's like just a natural sort of thing as well. I don't know how other people find this, but with me, when I'm writing my music, if I'm smoking, I'm writing my music quicker, I'm writing my music more creative. Like it helps me towards obviously the goal that I want to reach. That's not to say I can't write music or do music without smoking, but my preference would be to obviously smoke as well as doing other things.
Yeah, I find a lot of grime artists seem to link it with creativity.
Yeah, definitely.
I watched a documentary that Jammer did, and he spoke a lot about the fact that, you know, he uses that for creativity.
Yeah, definitely.
So that he can write his lyrics.
100%.
So before we continue on that, do you feel like grime promotes any higher class drugs?
No. The thing is, I don't think it does. Not the use of higher class drugs. I think that's more in America.
Yeah.
Not in the UK. In the UK, that's looked down on really from people from a grime culture anyway. Well, I'm not sure how it is now because a lot's changed now. Obviously, a lot has changed now. The people that listen to grime now are not the same people what was listening to grime 10, 15 years ago. So it's more different. But I'd say in the music, I don't think the use of higher class drugs to cannabis is promoted. No, I don't think so.
So carrying on with cannabis.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any bad effects, whether it be short term or long term? Do you feel like you've ever experienced that yourself?
No.
Have you ever seen it on anyone else? Like, for example, you know, cannabis, like THC.
Yeah.
You know, that's more likely to damage your mental health in the long run.
Me personally, I've never had any sort of bad experience from smoking weed. Never, like not even from the first time I ever smoked it till now. Never. Yeah. The worst I will ever get is a small headache and I'll get tired, and that's when I've been smoking all day and I've been smoking literally all the time, but that doesn't happen very often, and that's most of the time because I'm probably dehydrated anyway. Now I have seen other people have experiences, like maybe if you've never smoked weed before and then you suddenly come and smoke with somebody who's been smoking for a while, and you smoke the same amount as them, then it's like anything, you're gonna have a like extreme sort of trip off that. Like if I never have caffeine and then so all of a sudden I go and drink 10 cups of coffee, I'm gonna be over the top of what anybody else would be of doing that, you know what I mean?